Comfort Zone with Ray Comfort. Thought-provoking. Informative. Engaging. Are you ready to be inspired and equipped? And now, the Comfort Zone with Ray Comfort.
Welcome to the Comfort Zone. It's great to have you here. In about half an hour, we will disappear.
Calgon, take me away!
And I'm sure by the end of this program, you will be so glad that we disappeared, especially when you hear the crazy topic that Alan Atsby picked for us today. Hi, Ray.
So your daughter's got their driver's license, getting them?
Yeah, my girls are getting close. Julia's got it. Summer actually today just passed her pre-permit test.
What is that?
It reminds me of this. So the reason I asked
that.
is I just wanted to say when I went for my driver's license, on the options, it had if you're approaching a horse on the side of the road, someone's riding a horse, what do? Do you honk to let it know you're coming? And I've never forgotten that.
Was that a problem in New Zealand?
No, it was just a funny thing they put in there just to lighten it up.
Right.
You know, do you approach cautiously or what? Do you honk to let it know you're coming?
Yeah.
I put, of course you honk, let the horse know you're coming.
You know, I can't even believe I passed my driver's test, the one behind the wheel, because...
What else is there? Do you drive from the back seat?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. But I did something on the road that I shouldn't have done. I can't remember what it was. And then the next words out of my mouth to the instructor was, "Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention."
Just what
And
you
they
need.
gave me my license. Guy probably did it because he didn't want to ride in the car again with me.
Were you a gang member at the time?
No, this is when I was a believer. I just got saved.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was so honest that I had to tell him I wasn't paying attention. All right, friends, we got some just craziness today. But before we jump into the craziness and insanity, we have something extremely encouraging. We got this photo along with a story from a dear brother. Look at this. Look at that wine bottle, and there next to it, I think it's what that Buzz?
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Buzz Light.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
What have you been drinking?
Right. So that brother wrote to us, and Ray, wasn't that encouraging? I mean, you're the one who passed the story on. And
Yeah, he went up to me and says, "Can I have a drink of that Bud Light?"
brother.
Please.
Imagine if
No,
you
it was
asked
one
him to smoke something.
I think the story is you've got it there. This guy walked into his camp. These guys are Christian camping.
Men's
Having a
Christian
men's
camping
Christian
group.
camp, and this guy walked in with a bottle and a can, and he says, "Have you got a corkscrew?" And he went up and gave him $1 million bill tract, and ended up witnessing to him and praying for him. And then that guy went back to his camp, brought back his girlfriend to hear the witnessing.
That's what's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind of
then-
like the woman at the well, but it was like the man at the corkscrew place or something. Whatever,
That's
something like
very
that.
powerful.
He went and he brought her back. But
Oh,
you-
I hear what you're saying. Then
Yeah.
the whole village came back.
Yeah, the whole place. But you know what was encouraging was the fact that he said, before he left for the camping trip, he said, "I'm going to take some tracts with me."
Yeah.
And again, he's going on a Christian men's camping trip, but he did that. Isn't that cool, Mark? Being prepared.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You want to be ready in season and out of season, whether you're camping or not camping. In a few weeks, I'm going to be heading down to Mexico, be sharing at a church out there, but also I'm going to be taking my kids to an orphanage where they can see what it's like down in Mexico, the way orphans live. We've been talking a lot about orphans lately, but I like this idea. I like this concept. We need to always, always, always be ready. And that's what this brother was. He didn't come up to the place and say, "You know what? It's a Christian camp. I'm going to let my guard down. I'm not going to bring any gospel tracts with me." No, he realizes why he's there. And when you have that mindset, you have the mindset, one of which you say, "God, use me at all costs. I don't care where you use me." Guess what? Doors are going to open up for you because you're ready and you make yourself available. You are a useful tool in the master carpenter's hand.
Well, you know, I was just saw a comment this morning on Facebook page where a young lady very sincerely said, "I like to go up to people and say, 'Do you know Jesus?' If I feel led by the Spirit." And you know, and I prepared a little comment or post to say back, Jesus said to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature, so I don't need to be led by the Spirit because I'm a child of God. I'm always led by the Spirit. We've been commanded to preach the gospel to every creature. And if I went by my feelings, if I felt led, I wouldn't witness to anyone because all I feel is fear.
Oh, exactly. And not just that, but you think of how subjective that is, how I can so interpret that in so many ways. And write it off or no, it can't be that. No, it couldn't be this. So, yeah, like we often say, God took the hinges off the doors when he said, go into all the world, preach the gospel to every creature.
Good.
Or someone said that.
You just said it.
Yep.
Repeating it.
Very good.
All right, friends, now to jump into the insanity.
I thought we started at the beginning.
More insanity.
Yeah,
More
yes.
insanity. Pentagon document lays out battle plan against zombies. Foreign policy. That's what it says, Alan. You put this here. Foreign policy blog. The U.S. military has always been the one place in government with a plan forever in preparation mode and ready to yank a blueprint off the shelf for almost any contingency. Incredibly, the Defense Department has a response if zombies attacked, and the armed forces had to eradicate flesh-eating walkers in order to preserve the sanctity of human life among all the non-zombie humans. Buried on the military secret computer network is an unclassified document obtained by foreign policy called CONOP 8888. It's a zombie survival plan. Am I really reading this?
Is it called 888 because they're going to eat us?
Probably. Oh, this is so stupid. It's a zombie survival plan. A how-to guide for military planners trying to isolate the threat from a menu of the undead, from chicken zombies to vegetarian zombies, and even evil magic zombies, and destroy them. Alan, what is this? Is this real?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Alan tells us that the U.S. government actually, they have a plan for zombies, and the reason they did this is because at one time it's believed that some plan leaked and they had actually used names of actual countries. It was all hypothetical,
Right.
but people said, oh, what if they really meant to do this? And so they did zombie stuff. So why are we talking about this?
Yes.
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But here's in reality why we're doing it. Because, friends, there's all kinds of trending stories that constantly hit the news, right, Ray? I mean, you see crazy stuff and
Yes, there's trending stories that often hit the news.
all the time,
Yes.
right? So we are always looking for opportunities to share the gospel, right? Something other than just the weather. What do you say, Ray? God made the weather, right?
Guess who made
Guess
the
who
weather?
made the weather?
God.
So instead of using lame segues, you can talk about zombies when they're trending. So Alan came up with this brilliant idea of a competition between us. In fact, he's going to be our judge because Alan's very judgmental. And he's going to judge who comes up with the best segue amongst us three.
And he even came up with a trophy.
Yeah.
Where is
oh.
the trophy?
Where's the trophy,
Mark,
Mark
hold up
Spence?
the trophy.
Ah, shimmering gold. Thank you, Vanna Spence. All right, so here we go. Ray, it's zombies.
So, segue. Well, this reminds me of the story, a true story, 1938, October the 30th, a filmmaker named Orson Welles. Have you heard of him?
I was going to
yeah.
share the story.
No, sorry, Spence! Whose show is this?
You always
So-
steal stuff, Spence.
So what he did is they did a dramatization of a Martian attack. And what happened is people believed it, and the reason they believed it is because there was a disclaimer at the beginning. Most people were listening to a nationwide, very popular comedy show on other channels, on the dial. And what happened is they had a musical interlude, so people probably just turned the dial to see what else is on, and they came in halfway through this Orson Welles spoof that Martians were attacking, and people believed it, and it caused a panic among people. And that launched Orson Welles' dramatic career. So then I'd ask, when I told the person this, what do you think happens when someone dies? Give me the trophy.
No way.
Yes.
It's mine.
No.
An 8.
Oh, good
Oh,
work,
boy,
Ellen.
There we go. Okay. Mark Spence.
You know,
Zombie away.
before I get into it, there was a comment inside the chat room that really made me laugh. Tash Bar ended up saying this. My friend has a shirt that says, Best Zombie Killer. I asked, he said, well, do you see any zombies around? And I said, oh, good point.
Oh, that's
I
really
think
good.
Tash Bar deserves a trophy.
Yeah, that's
Today.
Tash Bar, this is for you, Tash Bar. Good one. You know, what do you say? Ray stole my story. Okay, not really. Nobody would actually share that in truth. Well, what do you say? You're around the water cooler. It's break time. You have friends that come around, coworkers that come around, and somebody's reading the newspaper. Somebody's on Yahoo News, and they start talking about zombies. You know, funny enough, Brad and I and Eddie, we had a chance to meet the editor for The Walking Dead. It's a very popular TV show out there. Now, this has nothing to do with my transition. I just wanted to share this with you guys as I try to think of something. Okay, now back to me.
Oh, you make me scratch
Forget
my
about
head, Mark.
me.
Back to me.
And zombies are very popular. You think of World War Z with Brad Pitt.
Right.
You know, that movie was going to be a huge financial disaster and ends up being a huge blockbuster. Now they're going to come out with a World War Z Part 2, I guess it is. We ran out of letters. World War ZZ. Now that 2 in and of itself has nothing to do with my transition. I just wanted to state the obvious that
Get to it, Mark.
zombies have a way of catching people's attention.
Stalling. You want the trophy, don't you?
All right, here it is. Boy, that's interesting. Yeah, it made the news. It's amazing what makes the news today. It reminds me of the way people are today. You know, people kind of wander, they meander throughout their life with no real purpose other than try to get ahead. Somebody else's head. They want to move forward in life with no real aim. You see, everybody's upset at everybody. Everybody's trying to get forward in this life, but you have to pause and you think, what is the meaning of life? Is it to devour one another? Is it to climb up the corporate ladder at all costs? Have you ever paused to just ask yourself that simple question, why am I here? What's the meaning of life and what's going to happen to me when I die? What do you think? You ever give that much thought?
Ooh, 9!
Thank you. I just want to thank
What,
you.
Alan?
Okay, you've got
I have to beat a 9 now.
Yeah,
Yes.
you've got to get it. No, hang on. Alan's told me this is out of 100.
Yes. Then I will win for sure. Okay, so I'm trying to witness to my friend Fansusu. Okay? Fansusu is my imaginary Fansusu is my imaginary friend. And this is exactly how I would do it. Fansusu, do you know that Fansusu. Why can't someone be named Fansusu? Fansusu. Fansusu, do you know that God loves zombies and has a wonderful plan for their life? 17!
Yes!
I
Come on,
win!
you win.
I win! I do
Okay,
it!
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Arab win.
Oh boy. Okay, we're done. Let's move on to the next story. Here we go.
Please.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, you want me to be serious?
No, that's it. Leave it there.
We'll leave it there. I mean, no, really. But probably what I would do is I would say, hey, man, you know, zombies and stuff. Do you believe, you really believe, like, there could be zombies? I mean, seriously, people talk about it. You get movies made about it. You think that's a possibility? I mean, someone being half dead? What do you think? Do you ever think about death? What do you think happens when someone dies, man? Something like that.
What about equal rights for all? Zombies need to be able to marry zombies.
Zombie persecution? Yeah. All right, friends, here we go. Now, we got a clip. Something a little more sane. Samaritan. Samaritan? Huh? Good Samaritan. Let's roll.
Aidez-moi. 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 Aidez-moi.
when this woman in a New York waiting room collapses in 2008. Hospital staff ignore her for an agonizing 45 minutes. When someone finally comes to her aid, it's too late.
Monsieur, vous m'entendez? Monsieur, est-ce que vous m'entendez? Ça va? Essayez de me parler. Essayez de me parler, monsieur.
Jeans and dress, not like
Share that thought, Mark. What were you thinking?
I was just thinking that the guy looks homeless, especially as you begin to walk through. He's got a beanie on his head. I didn't see anybody else wearing a beanie. And especially here in Los Angeles, you see a lot of homeless people. When you see somebody wearing a suit and a tie and they're on their side, that is abnormal for Los Angeles. So I'm just thinking that the mindset that people might have at that moment is thinking, this guy's just sleeping in the middle of nowhere like they normally do here in LA. And people in business suits don't typically do that. I don't know if it's necessarily the Good Samaritan stopped and helped, but rather it's a commonplace. This is what we see.
You know, I was surprised by the clip that Noah went through his pockets while he was down.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, when I was watching it, and sometimes you have different perspectives, the guy didn't look like he was intended to be homeless. Looked like, you know, he was just dressed like a normal, regular guy.
Right.
But
I think it's a testimony to how young people dress nowadays.
Maybe he's
right.
a zombie.
Hey, that's it. Ask Sun Tzu, or whatever my friend's name is. But you know that is heartbreaking, though, when you think that we've gotten to a place that someone wouldn't even care about a homeless person.
Well, I sent you a
know?
clip about a week ago. Remember, it broke your heart where someone got run over in India?
Oh, it was a little kid.
Got run over and no one stopped. And I think other cars ran over him when he was lying
The
there.
car went over him with the front wheels and then stopped a little, went over with the other, and then another car hit him and people were just walking by. Finally, someone
Absolutely.
came and just put him on the side.
Yeah.
And finally, you see his mother run up. That one was just, yeah.
It was horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's a spiritual analogy, Ray, we can draw out of this?
I don't have one.
I do.
Go.
You know, years ago I put together a whole list of evangelistic principles. It's A through Z of evangelism. And the W in that, and they're all alliterated. So the W is witness willingly to whosoever. And that means that in evangelism, we don't show partiality. We don't look at the guy who looks down and out and say, oh, he really needs a gospel. And the analogy flips in this regard. Or, you know, we look at the well-to-do guy and it's like, oh, he's okay, he must be fine. Because sometimes we do that. You know, we see the guy who's in trouble or maybe has a troubled life. Oh, he really needs a gospel. But sometimes it's the rich
That's so true.
who are even more lost.
I've just remembered I was riding home on my bike about 3 months ago, and there's a guy on the sidewalk, and he was lying there like that homeless guy, and he was pushing a cart, and the cart was full of stuff. So I stopped and I woke him up and witnessed to him, and he was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He was so grateful.
Right.
He was well spoken, and it was a great experience.
Yeah. So bottom line, friends, is we need to take the gospel to everyone because we don't always see the spiritual need internally. They might know the gospel, they might know Christ, they might not, but we have to preach the gospel to everyone. All right. On now to Alan. Was there something you're holding up there? Are we supposed to do something? No? Okay. All right.
You want another trophy or something?
Yes, I actually do. I'm on a roll today.
There it is.
Woo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. White trophy.
Just
All right. An email from, not from Adam, about Adam.
You know I took that off you?
Por
'Cause
qué?
you're going to watch the reflection and the
How did you know, right?
Easy's in love with mirrors.
Oh, look at that now. Yeah. All right. Are Adam and Eve in hell? I see a lot of people saying no. I don't think this is something anyone knows other than God, but I was wondering what you guys thought. Mark Spence! Where's Adam?
Well, the Bible does not tell us where Adam and Eve are at. Unless you're going to grab a hold of one of the apocryphal books, well, guess what? It's not in there either. It doesn't tell us where Adam and Eve are at. But how is one justified? How is one declared righteous? How is somebody in the Old Testament saved as you and I are saved? Well, they would look forward to the Messiah coming. They were declared righteous in the sight of God because they had faith in God. Now, we have a couple instances, a couple scriptures in the Old Testament, long after the fall of Adam and Eve, that showed that they did have some sort of faith in God. Let me share a couple of those with you. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Now the man had relations with his wife Eve, and she conceived and gave birth to Cain. And she said, I have gotten a man-child with the help of the Lord." With the help of the Lord. So this is long after the fall. She gets pregnant, and what happens? She attributes that to God. Well, who does that today? Well, a lot of people bring God into the picture, but the true and the living, the triune God, not a lot of people. Believers typically do that. And the other one is Genesis 4:25. Adam had relations with his wife again after the whole Cain and Abel situation took place, and he named they named their child Seth. Seth, which means appointed, literally appointed. For God had appointed me another offspring in place of Abel, for Cain killed him. So here's a couple instances where we see Adam and Eve actually invoking God into the conversation, thanking God for what has taken place. And do we know whether or not they're in heaven now to this day? Well, we don't. We really don't. In the same way, we can't really say with great certainty that person is saved. Thank you.
Good answer, Mark.
Well, I am hoping Adam will be in heaven because I want to be in the line that's lined up to smack him in the mouth for all the suffering, pain, and death that came because of his transgression. So I hope he's there.
Dishonoring Father Adam.
Oh.
Ray, would you not have done the same thing if you were there in the garden?
I would have told my wife to be in submission.
Ooh, brave man. I wonder if Sue's watching.
Oh,
all right.
I didn't think of that. Sorry,
let me comment and go on a little rabbit trail here, if I may.
Please.
You know, what is it that really tripped up Adam and Eve? They wanted to be like God. They wanted their eyes to be open. So the temptation here, the first temptation here is to have a spiritual temptation. They wanted to be like God. Well, what's wrong with wanting to be like God? What's wrong with having your eyes open to the things that are around you spiritually? Nothing. But God gets to call the shots. And God said, hey, hands off, paws off. This is not the direction you're to head. And we see that today. So many people trying to perhaps figure out and think through the secret things of God, things that don't really belong to them.
Yeah.
You know, we see Job did it over and over again, where he began to try to figure out what God was doing until finally he put his hand over his mouth. And ever since then, man has tried to remove the hands from Job's mouth and give an account as to what God had did. So we need to be careful with that. We see here, and here's really my point, that Adam and Eve wanted to have their eyes opened spiritually or in a physical sense here. Nothing wrong with that, but we always have to go with what God says. So that's why we need to always go back to God's Word.
Sweet.
Yeah, you know, I had a cousin of mine that I was sharing the gospel with this weekend, and he was just struggling with the fairness of God in life in terms of those that grew up in a certain religious atmosphere and those that didn't. You're watching my hand, right? But, you know, man, I don't know, the more I talk to unbelievers, the more my heart is saddened that we really think we can judge God's fairness.
Yes.
Right.
It really is an insane concept. And again, I had to remind him, I said, you know, you're trying to understand the mind of the infinite God. And we, as people, don't even understand how our own brains work. How do we, with these brains, expect to fully understand the God who formed these brains that we don't fully understand?
It's the ultimate delusion of grandeur to think we stand in moral judgment over God.
Yeah.
I was just reading yesterday that the average 2-year-old brain has 80 billion cells. I don't know who counts them.
Yeah, how do they really count those?
I don't know.
It's all mathematical,
It's quite
isn't it?
incredible.
Oh, friends, what a show this has been. All right, we have something to show you. It's a video. Oh, it's about the Duggars. Let's roll it.
Our family grew up listening to Ray Comfort's teachings. I can remember as a young boy listening to Hell's Best Kept Secret. So when we came across his movies, we devoured them. You're going to love 180. Genius is awesome. And my newest favorite is Evolution versus God. It's incredibly amazing. I hope you enjoyed them as much as we did. something like that. It's incredibly amazing. We never had a TV until we wanted to go and get 180, and Genius is awesome.
I didn't know he was an orderly in a hospital. He looked like, didn't he, a trainee doctor or something?
Oh, that was really great. You know, it just brought back memories when Josh and Anna were out here. And in fact, our church is taking a mission trip over to Mexico, and I'm taking Summer and Julia, and we're going with the whole group. And we're watching Roots, and it's so great.
It's a 6-hour layover in Texas.
Oh boy. And we're watching Roots, and you know, the Duggars are a part of it. And I just thought, wow, how so neat it is, you know, to have a family that it just shines as such a witness for the Lord. Oftentimes when I'm talking to people and say, you have 5 kids, what? You know, I say, oh yeah, you know, I think it's a lot until I think of some friends of ours that have 19, you know, and they go, huh? You know, the Duggar family, what? You know, the Duggars, you know, and it often leads as a segue into the gospel, you know, and it's really great.
So a 6-hour layover in Texas, you could take the team and do an open air and be back in time.
Ah, open air in the airport.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? I want to preach to you today.
I'm sure that would go over well.
Yeah, it sure would. Well, friends, thank you for putting up with the insanity. Hey,
and with Easy and I.
Right. Good commentary on Mark. Laughter is good for the soul, friends, and hopefully it's started your week off in a good way.
Week off?
Week off, yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining us. Remember to connect with us through Facebook, through YouTube, through Twitter. Look us up by name, Emeal, Zwayne, Mark, Spence, Ray Comfort. And remember to also subscribe on our YouTube channel. And make sure, most importantly, go to tczlive.com and connect with us there live! Thank you for joining us, friends. Remember, get out of your comfort zone and proclaim the gospel under the glory of God.
For questions about the Comfort Zone with Ray Comfort, or to submit questions for future shows, please email us at email@tczlive.com. That's email@tczlive.com. The Comfort Zone is an outreach of Living Waters. For more resources to inspire and equip you to fulfill the Great Commission, check out livingwaters.com or call toll-free 1-800-437-1893. Now go and preach the gospel.